This is my first time out here in this configuration at Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch in Pahrump near Las Vegas, Nevada. 2022 Toyota GR86 with front camber bolts, Kumho V730 tires, CSG 21 and 11 brake pads, front and rear, and Jackson Racing oil cooler. This is from early 2023. Now, as you guys know, I've actually sold my GR86 now, and I haven't hit the track in several months. So the question now is how I'm going to be replacing it. I really love this chassis. I had a Scion FRS for 9 years, then had this GR86 for over a year and a half, almost 2 years. And it's just such a brilliant platform, great chassis rigidity, great manual transmission. The engine makes more power, a bit of reliability concerns, honestly, when you're pushing it on track, especially with stickier tires, but there are other YouTubers out there, 900 BRZ as an example, who are doing a lot of testing and documentation about the possible fixes. These aren't going to be my fastest laps by any means. If you look at my other track day videos where I've actually driven this at subsequent visits to the track, you'll see me pushing it a little bit harder, going a little bit faster, but the way this car handles is just so excellent. You're also going to notice I'm actually hitting the apex before the cones because these cones are designed for the Corvette C8, much heavier, much more powerful car. They run the Ron Fellows Corvette school here. So you'll see me trying to apex it a little bit before the orange apex marking cones. Gotta remember we have McPherson strut front suspension, so the car, you do get limitations with the front end with regards to grip and giving way to understeer. If this had double wishbone front suspension, man, this would be such an amazing car because now you're addressing a more foundational limitation with the chassis. Between this, the S2000, and the Miata, those are the three options that I have for my next track toy. Now, obviously the GR86 is out because I've already owned one for a while, and also its predecessor, the FRS. And now with the Miata and S2000, they both do have double wishbone front suspension. The Miata is significantly lighter, more rigid chassis. So we have another lap here. I think this one's a little bit faster. But I was gonna go with the Honda S2000, and that was gonna be my little track toy beater out here in Las Vegas. But now some life circumstances have changed, and I'll actually need the track car in a different city. I'll be splitting my time between Vegas and another spot. So I need that car to also serve as a daily. And for that reason, I'm now leaning ND3 Miata, more rigid chassis than the S2000, lighter than the S2000. You have the much more livable vehicle than the S2000, although the S2000, I mean, a lot of people point to its limitations. You can fix a lot of them with the aftermarket. The engine transmission combo in the Miata is great, but not as special as the S2000, and you're not really gonna be able to fix that, or improve, I should say. It doesn't really require fixing, but you can't really improve it to the level of the S2000 in the aftermarket. But when it comes to beginner vehicles, I actually think the GR86, this vehicle is the best. The reason being that it's so easy to understand limit handling with this vehicle. It's very progressive and slow and easy to manage understeer, manage oversteer, especially with the stock setup. I'm running 200 treadwear Kumho V730 tires, which obviously changes it, gets a little bit snappier, but still pretty easy to manage, all things considered. And for that reason, you know, younger car enthusiasts who want a track car, who want to become better drivers, I think this is hard to beat, and it's also by far the most practical out of those three options. It's a coupe, obviously not a convertible, but you get better chassis rigidity as well as much more practicality, especially when you fold those rear seats down. There are certain things I miss about this vehicle. How light, tossable, and playful it is. Obviously here on track, but even when you're just puttering around town, getting groceries and such, you can kick the tail out very easily and manage that. I do wish I was able to get more negative camber for track work to dial out more of that understeer. One of the things now that I'm trying to work on that you will not see in this video In this video and subsequent track days, you will see me occasionally doing trail braking with my GR86, but I'm now trying to work on left foot braking while on the track, which I'll do in a automatic car, DCT, etc. But I haven't actually done that with a manual because obviously your left foot is usually hitting the clutch, and it's a little bit more of a learning curve there. But one thing that I do want to practice to elevate my driving skill, getting that mid-corner modulation with brake and throttle. Something that you can easily do on something like a sim rig, but of course a lot more unnerving in real life in case you mess up and, and hit the wrong pedal. Berm, got me. Gotta be careful of that. If you're braking or accelerating on the berm, it's gonna be lower traction, so it gets a little bit squirrely. My friends, let me know what you think of the 22 GR86 on track, and do you think the Mazda ND3 is a worthy replacement?